So we are in the final section of our video series, and this section is based on the measurement strategy, which is also called as measurement matrix, right? So, and the measurement matrix, it is it is a combination of five pillars of the whole measurement journey, and these five pillars are planning, building, reporting, forecasting, and finally optimizing. So what it does is it basically helps you to turn the data that you have into meaningful insights. Because if you just have data that's in front of you, but you don't know where to go from there, or you don't know what to do with that data, it's not very meaningful to just have numbers on your screen. And you need to have a way to optimize your business using the data that you have, and that is exactly what measurement matrix allows you to do. So let's get right into it with the planning pillar first. You'll need to go here, and you can go here by into measurementmarketing.io. Yeah, this URL, measurementmarketing.io/go/matrix, and you'll end up on this page. Right, so here you can see that the summary. Knowing what you don't know in measurement is tricky, but when you know the measurement journey and your place in that journey, things get much easier, right? So we'll see the journey that they are speaking about here. So firstly, our planning phase, right? So I'll just use the, yeah, as you can see, it is all color coded here. The planning is green, building is blue, reporting is yellow, forecasting is purple, and optimizing is orange. And you can see that there are various steps, and with each step the color is changing. So you have to repeat the process over and over again. So you're planning, then you're building, then you're reporting, forecasting, optimizing. And when you start, you are in a cave, right? Because you basically have no setup at this point. So you start in a cave, and once you start there, again you can see there's the planning first, then building, then reporting, forecasting, optimizing. So you're on your own feet, and this is just these steps, they just act as a torch for you to get some visibility and just get out of the cave for now, right? And once you follow these steps and get out of the cave, you'll end up in the valley, which is the valley of visibility. So now at least you have established that you have some setup and you have some knowledge of what's happening in your organization, right? So in the in the cave setup, which is also called as the nothing setup, uh, you, again, as I said, there's you don't have much idea of what's going on, so you just shed light on things. You just ask very basic questions. Alright, you set up certain page views and just get any data that you can get just to get started and have a certain setup. And once you're done with that, you get out of the cave, and now you are into the valley of visibility. So at this point a certain you have some structure, right? Then from there you go to the hills, and as you can see, once you're out of the cave, your implementation gets better. And when you are on your feet, now you're on a cycle. So you need to improve that as well. That it's just saying that as you move further, you need to improve your setup. All right. And from the valley you move to the hills, and as you can see, it has turned into a car now. So again, you need to evolve and improve your setup constantly. And finally there's the summit. And you can see that it's become a helicopter now. So this is very this is a very complex point, and some people require it and some people don't. So it's totally dependent upon your business. Now let's see all of this in detail, right? So for that we'll have to go to the matrix here and just ignore the other things for now and focus on the highlighted section. So firstly we have planning, right? These are just the measurement stages, or these are your pillars, and this is just your implementation level of it. So nothing, as you saw, would be our cave. The basic one would be the valley. Similarly, customize would be the hills and transform would be the summit. All right. So it's just in this figure you can just see that the more better you plan, all right, the better your planning is, the easier the building gets. All right. So let's move on to the matrix now. And in planning, you need to focus on one word, which is curiosity, because as I said, you have very little to nothing set up at this point. So you need to be curious. You need to be curious in regards to the data that you have, and you need to ask very general questions, right? So at the nothing stage, you need to have curiosity. Moving on to the basic stage, you need to explore. So your general questions in the curiosity stage could be how many leads came in, all right. But when you move to explore, the level of your question needs to go up a bit. So instead of asking how many leads came in, you need to ask what traffic source got the most leads, and so on. So this is how as you evolve in the process, your questions also need to evolve, right? And for this, there is something called as QIA, which means question, information, and action. So question means think, results, and now. So what questions do you need to ask? And information is what information is needed to answer those questions. And then action is what action will you take after getting the information from those, after getting the answers to those questions. All right. So as you can see, you have a question here: how many products did they view before buying? So as we said, you could have simply asked how many products were bought, and that would have come under your cave setup. But we are speaking about explore here, right? So they're asking how many products did they view before buying, and what information is needed. These are just your metrics: product details, filter, interaction, type of page, and then action. If they are viewing more than 10 rings, simplify the filter by group sizes. Then another question: are content pages generating codes, and how are they? Information, again the metrics specific to content pages, number of clicks on nav and sidebar, right? And then action, which is if 5 to 10%, then scale the traffic. If it's about 10%, is the traffic too limited? If it's below 5%, working CTA. All right. Then uh, again, what type of content leads to more ad clicks? The information, page views of content, which is clicks to ads by location and by ad type, by traffic or by device. Then again, action: for 100 users, 20% should click, 10% on the sidebar, rest in the body copy. Then how many days to purchase from original source? Information by original source, purchase and details, days you could get from CRM. Then action: if 3 days or less, then scale it. If more than 5 days, revisit message and traffic source. So this QIA is very, it's absolutely necessary while you're in the basic setup or in the basic stages of setting up. So it's not really needed in the nothing phase or in the cave setup, because you're just starting out at this point and you're just shedding light on stuff when you have no setup at all. But it's absolutely necessary when you're in the basic setup or in the explore stage. All right. Then you have the customize stage, and in this stage you need to focus on segment. And segment, this could mean, adding custom dimensions and metrics in your setup. And suppose you have three different sources, you could ask which type of lead is producing best sales. And again, these segments, you could segment them based on custom dimensions, because you are in the customized setup phase. And the questions that you ask and answer get bigger, because there are more details now. In the curiosity stage, there was just a basic question like how many products were bought, but you can see that when you're here, the questions are getting bigger because there is more data to look into now. And at this point, even your implementation is big enough to answer the questions. Then finally, we are at the transform phase, where your customized setup is evolving, and it evolves into the transform phase. So in customize, you are asking questions like in Google Analytics, of Google Analytics, and from Google Analytics, which means that you're staying in one platform itself. But in the summit stage, so as we compared the summit, right, summit or the transform stage, you pull in data from different sources. So you could pull some data from Facebook, some from Google Analytics, and some from your cart information. So you're basically transforming data from different sources and answering questions, and you're creating a data source of your own in this process. It could be spreadsheet or BigQuery or anything like that. And one thing to keep in mind while you're in the while about the planning pillar is that or while you're in the planning stage, is that you should never start at the top. Like, don't ever start at the transform phase. You need to go through the phases uh, bottom up. All right, always start at nothing, because uh, you could get stuck if you directly start at transform. Because if you give a bunch of information but there's no action, or if you are having problem finding insights from your data, then you could conclude that you have started a bit higher than you should have. All right. And also, you shouldn't force your data to tell you something, because if you had started bottoms up and you were here, then you wouldn't need to force your data to give you insights. You would already have that, because your implementation would be big enough at that point. But if your implementation isn't big and you directly start at the top, then you might have problems finding insights from your data. So yeah, this was all about the planning pillar of the measurement journey that we are going to cover in this series. And in this video we saw, firstly we went through the 5 pillars of the measurement journey, and within that we focused on the planning phase more. The other 4 will cover in the next few videos. So in the planning phase also we saw that firstly you start at nothing and you need to have curiosity. Then when you move to a more basic setup, when you have some setup at least, you focus more on exploring. Then in the customize phase you start segmentation, and like there's custom dimensions and custom metrics and stuff like that. And then finally your customized setup would evolve into the transform phase, where you pull in data from different sources. So yeah, this was all for this video. Thank you for watching.